you for being back. We start this session today with Patricia.
Yes,
Patricia Alejandra Bejar. And Patricia, together with Jacqueline Mayumi Kazaki and Letizia Rocha Machado, they are presenting a paper, a contribution entitled Socio-Affective Profiles in Virtual Learning Environments Using Learning Analytics. And of course, there's a growing number of virtual courses being offered by Brazilian educational institutions, requiring the development of technological resources and research to assist in the teaching and learning processes in distance education. And the analysis of the student's socio-affective profile in virtual learning environments enables possibilities to develop methodologies and resources to better understand students. And this contribution aims to identify the possible recurrent socio-affective scenarios in a virtual learning environment using learning analytics. This is crucial for us. So thank you for your work. And the floor is yours. I think you have 1 hour.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But I will alert you about 5 minutes before the end of your presentation. So please, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everybody. I'm so happy. I think everybody's so happy that's here. My last conference in person was in 2019, and it's okay. It's very excited to be here, everybody, and in person to show our work, research. I didn't know what they gave me. They gave me 1 hour, but okay. I think I'm going to talk with you about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and I think maybe you have questions that for me and for the researchers it's better to contribute and to interact. I'm working in the Federal University of Rio Grande do Sul. It's Brazil. And for 25 years, and I have more like 5-6 years to retire it. And in this moment, this research, it's about the socio-affective profiles in virtual learning environment, and we are using learning analytics. I'm the supervisor of my PhD students. This is Jacqueline. And the co-advisor is Letizia. That we are a very big team. We have like 20 people or more in our research groups. And it's different projects that we have in our university. In the 20s, I'm from computer science, but I teach in the teacher college in Brazil. And in the 20s, I began to work with distance education. But in this moment, it was not a good view about distance education because it's like second quality. You understand? 22 years ago. And you know how much we change. In March of the 20, when the university stopped everything, I only changed my channel and continues giving my class in a virtual learning environment. For me, it was very easy because I'm working with distance education for more than 20 years. And okay, this is my group. In this PhD thesis that's very interested, the research objective is to identify the possible socio-affective scenarios based on learning analytics that recurring in the virtual learning environment that we use in Brazil, and we call RODA. RODA was the first virtual learning environment in our university, And I construct with a very big team. It's not a Microsoft, but a very big team, and was the first virtual learning environment platform in our university. The name is Rhoda. And we use for only this one for a couple of years. And now we are using Rhoda and Moodle. I don't know what you use, but we are using also Rhoda. But this environment that I'm the owner with my group, we are doing a lot of research, because in Moodle we can't, it's more like a square. We can do a lot of research there, but this one, yes. And this is the reason that in the last years, we saw that we have to map the socioaffective aspects of our students. Why? Because sometimes they drop, we have to apply some pedagogical strategies that are different, because they are completely different. And now we are working with these scenarios, socioaffective scenarios. And with this, when we identify these aspects and this information, that is like a mining data process, the teacher can apply pedagogical strategies different and make different decisions on the needs and interested on the students. I'm going to apologize about my English, because I stopped practice my English for 3 years. I stopped. In Brazil, I speak Spanish because I'm Argentinian, but I'm speaking, of course, Portuguese in Brazil. But I only practice my English when I travel and the conference, and I stop a practice for 3 years. And then now I begin again, and I have 2 years more to can speak better. And sorry about some words and some phrases that's not the good structure. Okay, about distance education, I think everybody knows, but has transformed over the past from the 10 years, and consequently virtual course offerings have increased in order to make education available through Brazil. We have the Education Distance Association, and very interested information about how we are increasing the distance education in the last years. And in Brazil, I think all the world, but in Brazil principally, we did in 2 years what we are going to do in 20 years in this COVID pandemic. And this is very good for us. We have the bad things, but a lot of good things, because we have to learn a lot. Everybody learns. And how Antonella said, we have to construct a lot of digital competence. In Brazil, we use competence instead of skills. But I think here in America and maybe in Europe, skills is similar competence, but we have to construct a lot of digital competence. And now we are working, in digital competence and socio-affective competence also. Okay. This is a research, a very deep research, and then I can tell you about the theory that is based this study. As in some of you know about the Piagetian theory, yes or not? The Piaget theory, no? It's an epistemology theory about how we construct knowledge. And this study understands that the construction of knowledge based on the work of Piaget Piaget, in which social exchange and affectively play specific and vital roles for both teaching and learning. From the Piaget perspective, social interaction form a link between the individual environment and thus foster a discussion about the learning object, causing new cognitive structure to build. It's like spiral, yes. And the other hand, affect linked to the motivation to discover, awakening interest in research, acting as the driving force behind individual actions. And what we mean about social affective aspect. We use Piaget theory and Doe theory, that the person learns not only by internal affective and cognitive process, but especially by the demands caused by the social relationships. In fact, the relationships established between professor, student, object of knowledge, and the environment represent essential aspects in teaching and learning. These exchanges have the function of preparing the person, the individual, behind the construction of knowledge, such as living in society. And what about the affective and social attributes? They are immersed in them, which deeply condition the cognitive process. What is the personal profile in this theory? We understand that the cognitive development occurs as a function of three interrelated factors that define our profile. Is the organic, the mental, and the social. And the epistemic profile from which they are understood on the basis of Piaget theory, the epistemic profile is who learns and is constructed from the interaction with the psychology profile and the environment. And from this author, that's Piaget, the mental factor into cognitive, affective, and symbolic aspects, and they are totally unseparate. And how we, yes?
Is it supposed to be still the...
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Of course, I'm...
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, it's working. Now it's working. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so you are on page 9. Okay, I'll just...
Yeah. Very quickly. These are the authors. Okay, this is the research objective that I read. The Piaget theory, the social and affective, the profile, personal profile. And this is our, we understand that the person, now it's okay, yes? The personal profile, it's with 4 profiles. Sorry?
Just one quick click.
Okay. We have the thank you so much, biophysiological profile. That's everything that concerns the body, okay? That are all biological and physical function. We have the cognitive profile, and this is about the knowledge. The affective profile, that's the emotion, the feelings, and the relationships. And we have the social profile, with the internalization of habits, roles, and social prohibition of any kind. And what we do in this, we did in this research, we understand that psychological psychological profile are these 4 profiles, and we understood that we need the technological profile, okay? And then we put in this profile the social profile, the cognitive profile, the affective profile, and now the technological profile, because we need this technological profile, okay? And we are interacting with the virtual learning environment. Of course, this is a model. We have to cut some things to understand and to do this kind of research. I'm not saying that the biophysiological profile is not important. Of course, it's important. You know, the old people, they need the biological profile. We need a bigger cell phone because they have difficulties, you understand? But we insert the technological profile in our personal profile that interact with the virtual learning environment. This is the distance learning profile, the social, the affective, the cognitive, and the technological. And we interact with the virtual classroom with tools, rules, and the individual profile of the distance education context. Okay, how we can recognition the affective and interaction. This is the base, and then we are looking for how we can map these indicators, how we can map the affective and the social datas. Therefore, although tools are constantly improving and consequently improving distance education, issues still lack attention in the teaching modality, such as the recognition of students' affective manifestation and the interaction that emerge in these spaces. If teachers were provided with this information, they would have essential elements to meet the demands of their students, of offering them adequate help. Understanding these interesting and particularities of the students and bringing the actors involved closer together would enhance their relationships that occur in the teaching and learning process. I don't know if everybody knows about learning analytics, but we need some methodology, some base to a research. The learning analytics, it's a research area that emerged recently, 12 years ago, as a solution to address this new need to analyze the interaction carried in the teaching learning process. It is based on web analytics and initially emerged to serve only students facing difficulties. However, it is currently used to monitor all students' trajectories, allowing for individuals' analysis. Students using learning analytics in Brazilian context, in virtual learning environments, are very, very recently. Well, given this panorama, this study starts with the reflection on the social and affective aspects. We identify the social affective scenarios. I will show you how. And the situation, how we can understood. We have a mapping between the indicators of two maps in our virtual learning environments, two functionalities, like forum, like chat, or like post our activities. We have two functionalities, and the name is the affective map and the social map. We construct these functionalities in our group for all the university. Because for us it was very important that the professor have to have this data, these indicators, this map, to know how to do with their students, to make decisions. Okay, This is the Rhoda virtual learning environment that we have in our university. It's like this, one of the interface. The Rhoda, it's a user center and makes access to materials and tools like all the virtual learning environments. It's a space with to send activities and to interact with between the participants. Okay. This research was done all in Rhoda, not in Moodle, all in Rhoda. We have a total of 26 communication features like synchronous and asynchronous functionalities, and we have the social map and the affective map. They are used exclusively now by the teacher to graphically display the aspect of the students participant in Rhoda. This data, the affective and the social map, we obtain from communication functionality resource such as the diary, the forum, the contacts, and the chat, and the web portal. What is our affective map? The affective map is graphically represent the student's mood, which can be excited, discouraged, satisfied, and dissatisfied through analysis of their performance in the environment. The interference is made through a mechanism called probabilistic reasoning, data collected as evidence or subjectivity in text, actions performed in the virtual learning environment, and personality traits. This is our affective map, and each week we can see the color, and each color it's an affective indicates an affective mood. The first quadrant is the yellow, indicates the satisfied mood. The second is the green, it's animate. The third, it's the blue, discouraged, and the fourth is the red, dissatisfied. We have the trajectory of the student that we can see if he's animate, discouraged, dissatisfied in every week. The description of these 4 moods in affective map. This was constructed by another thesis of my another students, and the satisfies indicates that the students is joy, it's very enthusiastic, is the satisfaction with the class, with these activities, and pride in accompanying the task. The excited is show that the students demonstrate within the affective family of hope, interest, his calm, and surprise when facing learning challenges. This we base in another theory, Scherer theory. That's it's a very important author in the computer affective computing. The third mood is discourage. We suggest that the students demonstrate, repress the expression of guilt, fear, shame, sadness for not being able to follow the content, maybe. And the fourth is dissatisfied, that express or try not to show irritation, contempt, aversion, and envy. We have, for the other part, the social map. What is the social map? It's a resource in our virtual learning environment. It's a functionality that aims to present the social relationships. If I interact with A, with B, with the students, with another professor, and I can see all the map of the interaction of my group or my subject. It is possible to receive the social position of each participant and their relationship with the rest of the group. The indicator Indicators of social interaction enable the visualization of bonds, influence, and preference that exist in a certain subject or in a group. From the social map, the social indicator degree is calculated, which can be absent, collaboration with the group, distance from the class, dropout, informal groups, and who is popularity. This is our map, and this is another presentation only about the social map. But the blue ones are the students, and we can put the mouse in each student, and we can see all the map of the interaction of the students. And we can see in another color with drop up, who is popularity, and the orange are the monitors and the students that they help the students. What are our social map indicators? We have for each student an indicator. If he's absent, is the student that enter in the virtual learning environment and does not return the contact request of the class. Can be professor, can be monitors, or the students. We have an indicator of collaboration. It's the student that contributes through the sharing of files, content, image, page, links, and also ideas. The student who is distant from the class, he sends message and publish in the virtual learning environment, but does not receive feedback from the peers. The student who drop out, of course, is the person never access the teaching activities, the subject, the course. He didn't never answer any question or forum. The informal groups, this is very interesting because sometimes we put a new forum and with a very interested content for us, but sometimes it's not interested for the students. Then they create their own informal groups to discuss another thing that is nothing between my content, and this is very interesting. What is the informal groups? The student has exchanged message between 3 or more people or person that's been able to verify the existing groups among the participants. And this is very, I like the popularity students. The user maintain a higher frequency of interaction in relation of the rest of the class. They like to contribute, to participate. They post a lot of things, content, image, pages, links, and everything. Okay, both the affective map that we have the 4th mood and we have the social map with this indicator, we can assist in professor virtual pedagogy practice by pointing out the student profile in a simple graphic way. Then we use learning analytics. What is learning analytics? Emerges a solution to address the need to enhance the relationship that occur through technology in the teaching and learning process. To understand students' interests and needs, it is particularly suited to address students with difficulties in building knowledge. Thus, learning analytics is defined as measurement, collection, analyze, and reporting of data about students and their learning context. Therefore, it's appear that its focus is to bring together the actors involved and analyze the interaction carried out by the students in virtual space. How we use this methodology? We answer who is involved, what data, what is the goal, and what are the techniques that we are going to use. Okay, this is what we need to answer in the learning analytics. This is our dimension of the model. What refer of the types of data that we are collect. In this case are the social and the interaction data. Why we need this? Why? To relate the goals and real results of the analyze carried, which way be monitoring and analyze prediction and intervention, adaptation, reflection, how we can do it, linked to the different techniques that can be used to detect patterns contained in this data, and who. We aim at the public that it's involved, in which, in this case, it's our student, professor, education institution, researchers, etc. Okay, we use learning analytics to manual mapping, and the methodology. Now it's our case study. It's quality and quantitative. We did 10 multiple cases with undergrad, with graduate and extension course. Was like more than 200 students. And we mapped the social affective aspect in the affective map and the social map. Okay, was between the first semester of 2019 and the first semester of 2020. From the mapping of the case study, we create the map of the scenarios that we take. That was from the affective map, excited, discouraged, satisfied, dissatisfied, and the social map that absence, collaboration, distance by the class, evasion, drop up, information groups, and popularity. Our results. This is our map of the scenarios we did from the base of the learning analytics. What are our results? This figure shows the scenario for the affective indicator excited. This indicator has different scenarios resulting from the union of the social and the affective indicator. It is important to know that in some cases there is more than one social indicator linked to the affective. Sometimes they are excited, but they are absence. They are excited, but they are collaboration with the group. They are excited, but they are popularity. They excited, but they have informal groups. You understand the combination of all these data of the two maps. It's complicated, or you are understanding? Yes? And we have this map. And what we are going to do with this map? What we are going to show to the professor? And we have, for the excited, with more 200 people, this map, the different scenarios. Sometimes the student was excited, but he's collaborating, he shared materials with the colleagues. Sometimes he demonstrates that the student is excited, but he's absent, and it is collaborative. He entered in the environment, he posts files, but he don't return requests from the class. Understand? He's excited, but he's not collaborate with the other students. Finally, we have some students that indicates that the person is excited, but he's absent. He's okay by himself. See, he only used few communication functionalities. What do we do with this, all this data? Now we have to show for the professor the scenario and what he's going to do with this data. Then we construct, this is another speech, a recommendation system. We have this data, we have this scenario, and the professor sometimes he didn't know what to do with this data. And then we construct recommendation strategies for the student, from the professor. An example of a pedagogical strategy for he's excited, but his absence and collaboration scenario using the chat functionality. This is an example. Of course, we have more than 400 strategies for each scenario. It's a very deep study. He's probably excited to enter in the environment, but does not return requests from the class while sharing materials. In this sense, chat is a functionality that can be used to maybe motivate the interaction of the person with his peers. You can create a chat room and suggest that students discuss a current topic related to the content, mediate exchange and invite him to express his opinion and comment on colleagues' statements. And it is important that you carry out a self-assessment of the pedagogical strategies you apply and make change if it's necessary. This is an example. But for each affective indicator, we have a map of a lot of the affective with the social data, okay? In this case, we have discourage and some students that are absent, some students that are collaboration, some students that are popularity, okay? And the result about it, and from this result, what we can do, and we have the strategies, okay? I'm not going to read all the combination, but this is the research objective. With dissatisfied, we have dissatisfied, with absent, with collaboration, with the distance from the class, and here it's 22 students that are like this, 23 that are like dissatisfied in collaboration. We have dissatisfied with informal groups, okay? And this is our results. The last one is dissatisfied and all the combination as well. Okay. These socio-affective scenarios found are sometimes repeated in other situations, depending on the pedagogical practice, communication tools adopted, and the student profile. But in this context, the main contribution of this work is to point out the existence of certain scenarios that can be inferred. Based on these findings, teachers can decide how to act with this information, what we can do with this information, allowing them to develop pedagogical strategies consist with the needs of each student. And our conclusion, the physical distance between the actors in the education process of distance learning makes their relationship unique. Hence, the ways of knowing the other, communicating and acting in virtual learning environment are all elements of analysis of the continuous qualification of the teaching modality. Thus, given its particularity, it is also necessary to consider the relevance that social and affective process play in learning. It is therefore necessary to develop analytical features in order to provide the virtual learning environment new resources with the potential to promote pedagogical practice that are more sensitive to the distance learning paradigm. And it is advantageous to the teacher to master these new tools and understand, I think, the student's socio-affective profile. This is our second project. And with this data, we can know about the possibilities of future research that are related to the creation of pedagogical strategies for the identified scenarios and analyze of case that did not present social or affective indication in a given week. Okay, I think it's.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Lots of your findings are really vital to all of us.
Thank you.
Especially because we deal with more and more deal with hybrid situations.
Yeah.
So it's very important that we take care of each individual, and that's the only way. Any questions? Yes. And they are coming with the mic.
Hello. Okay, yes, thank you. How you take? Thank you for the presentation. How do you take into account the non-formal communication with students, like WhatsApp or other ways of communicating? It's these old LMS structures. Also, in my experience, they are not often used to communicate with peers by students. I don't know how you take this into account, because non-formal communication is not analyzed in this analytics, right?
Non-formal.
Non-formal, like WhatsApp,
Like
other forms of communication.
No formal we are not using.
Yes,
no, we only can use in the university the platform that we are using, and everything have to be there. Yes. The communication between the professor and the student cannot be in WhatsApp. You understand?
No, I understand, but I ask myself, if you say you use the consequences of the learning analytics are that you don't give much examples, but there should be consequences from like a false collaboration bias or like non-satisfaction students with the collaboration or the communication. And I ask myself, how you what you do when the data is false because the students don't communicate over your platform. What you do then the analytics are non-functional, or aren't they?
You said between the students that they can communicate by WhatsApp or something like this.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I cannot control, you understand?
Yeah.
Of course, as I said in the beginning, we create a model, and we have to do a deep research, okay? We cannot control all the social media that they can interact between them, but we have this platform, and we are creating a resource in the platform that they can interact with us or between students. I understand, of course, maybe he's going to change a message with another student, and he's going to be more excited or discouraged, of course. But after this combination, this action, he's going to return to the virtual learning environment, and I can see in the graph if he's more interested or less motivation. You understand?
Okay.
I cannot control what is going on in his
More
life,
time,
of
yeah.
course, but I can control in the formal system of the university. You understand?
Yes, of course.
But because we are constructing model, we of course we are.
What we did, for instance, in order to catch what you were mentioning in our courses, was to interview and survey the students to know if they used other kind of actually non-formal communication channels, and how this had an impact on their learning. So of course, there's a huge work there. But it's difficult to investigate it formally.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, of
Yeah.
course, your question. But we cannot control as
Yeah.
professors, as
No,
you understand.
It was just my
Maybe he's sad because something is going
Yeah.
on in his life, and okay, and he's going to go to the platform, and I said it's nothing related with the subject, but maybe I can do something. I have to do a pedagogical strategy to this student to excite him, or maybe to turn
course.
satisfied.
Yes,
Yeah. And I can see the social map and the affective map, but here,
Yeah,
not
of course.
the.
Let's see if we have other questions. Yes, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
I really love the social and affective maps.
Oh,
and
thank you.
I understand that you were doing this at the collegial level. By any chance, did you have any ideas of sharing it with local school district leaders? And also, if so, do you have this information archived? I understand that you had different scenarios where they can use chat or any other polling or podcasting or anything like that. Do you also have information to meet students where they are archived in like a resource bank? And again, I just wanted to know if this information would be shared with district leaders in your country or even across the states.
Yeah, I don't know if I understand your question, but
She's asking if you had the opportunity, the possibility to discuss these models with school leaders and other subjects involved, of course.
Yeah.
Am I right?
You understand that it's this is the third or fourth PhD thesis about these social affective aspects. I have a lot of PhD students, and one of them is constructing the social affective models. The other one is constructing the system, the recommendation system of the pedagogical strategies, and we are doing different course, undergraduate and graduate, to identify different scenarios for different publics. You understand? Yeah. We are working with old people. Yeah, because we have a very large group that we began 15 years ago. That they are old people, like 17 till 90 years old, and they are they used to go to the university in person before COVID, and we are using this platform with this kind of people also. And with the COVID, we have to do all the courses for them online. You understand? The people from 70s until 90, they stayed online, and we map all this data with this kind of public also. And was very interested because The social
At
math.
this time, none at the local school district level?
No,
Not at
school,
this
no.
time?
Only
Okay.
adults. And
Okay.
yes, only adults. Because
Thank
it's you understand, it's the first, but I have a student that now we are constructing this, we are going to use with children, because the social affective aspect of children are
I
completely
think
different.
she wanted to know if you involved schools.
No.
I mean, not
No.
children, but
No.
leaders.
Correct.
I know,
Because we were
we-
shared with some analytics
Yeah,
at a
I
district
work
level
in
as well.
I work in a university and I form leaders, and then our course are to train these leaders to use this resource, and then they can help us with another data.
Yeah, but they are not involved at the moment. That's
Yes, they're
Are
involved.
they- they're
Yes,
involved?
yes,
So
they're
they are involved.
Yes, they are involved.
Good, perfect.
Yeah, because we
You train.
we
leaders.
train leaders. Yes, educational leaders. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you
Yes.
for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I think we have time for one more question. No? Okay.
Okay.
No, that was very, very inspiring. Thank you, Patricia.
Thank
To
you.
your colleagues, and also the fact that your dimension is so large. Is
So large.
very, very important.
I didn't know if I can explain for you
No,
in my
no,
English
no,
the dimension of this project,
that
but
was,
it's very deep.
Was very
Yes.
clear. Was very clear.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so
and-
much.
And we hope you'll go farther with this
Yeah.
research.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.